about as well. And so I've come to the firm conclusion that indeed not everybody on this earth will marry. If that reasoning is cogent, then we can safely conclude that marriage may not be for everyone.
There you go. You heard Mrs. Flora Saki and, of course, Elder Amos Kevin Annan. Welcome back. My name is Pastor Ransford Abose, and my guest in studio, Reverend Alan Okumi Mensah, is with ICGC Christ Temple. Good evening, Daddy. Welcome once again. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening, boss.
Well, we thank God that you could join us tonight. Okay, so since you are very excited to help us in this discussion tonight, and for people, I know you've sent quite loads and loads of questions that we probably need to address tonight. But we want to start by finding out. You heard the perspective of your colleagues. What's your take on why marriage is not for everyone? Because that status is not in dispute.
No, should everyone marry?
Should everyone
I'll
marry?
rephrase the question.
Okay. I think it sounds nicer.
Yes.
Okay, let's hear you.
I believe strongly that not everyone must marry, or not everyone will marry.
Will marry. Okay.
Will marry.
The first part, must.
Must marry is based on the fact that we are not all wired the same.
Okay.
God has given each one of us gifts, talents, abilities, and a particular makeup.
Okay.
So I believe strongly that it is not everyone who will marry. And as Elder quoted, Paul did say that if you can remain single, remain single. But the caveat there is you must determine for yourself,
Okay.
seeking counsel from God, how you should act.
Okay.
That is the caveat. Because if you go, I always keep on telling people that this whole thing about marriage is the most serious and important voluntary act of every man and woman.
Okay.
Marriage. And it is ordained by God. So it is not an act which should be entered into because you are under pressure. It is not an act which should be entered into when you have not thought through it.
Okay.
It is not an act which you should enter into when you have not yet decided to share your life with somebody. It is not an act which you should enter into on competition basis. That people around you are getting married, so you want to get married.
Want some. Okay.
And it is also not an act which you should enter into because you think that you are hitting expiry date. So you just want to enter into it. It should be love prompted on both sides and only entered into after the most careful and prayerful deliberation. So you find out that you cannot rush yourself into marriage because you think it is a society thing. Like, I remember when we were in school and it came to choosing vocations. Somebody goes around, Charlie, which one are you taking? You say engineering. Charlie, it sounds good, though. Then he goes to another place. The person says, I'm doing chemistry. You say, but that one too is very nice. So this is a person who hasn't taken any decision.
Yeah.
On what he wants or what she wants. And therefore, he's being thrown about by every wind of doctrine about relationships. So I believe that number one is determine what you are fit for.
Okay.
It is very, very important for every Christian who is considering life after maturity.
Okay. Of settling with another person.
Settling with another person.
You mentioned a very interesting thing when you began, that everybody is wired differently. How do you mean by that?
We are wired differently. There are people who, when I was going to school, there are people whom I saw can only thrive in research. They must deal with papers.
Okay.
They can't deal with any other human being around them.
Okay.
Not even their roommates.
Wow.
Their space must not be entered into by any person.
Okay.
And I think Auntie Flora said it somewhere. You are getting married. And the marriage that you have entered into, the way you have arranged your things in your house, nobody should touch
it.
That means that you don't want any other human being with a different opinion from your wiring system to be in your house.
So such people, for instance, if you notice those traits about them in school, it means that they might not be qualified to marry.
They cannot handle other human relations.
Okay.
But there are those too who are growing who really do not care whether they have a boyfriend or girlfriend. I mean, life is life. That is how they are. Sometimes they call them frigid. There's no feeling.
They have no emotions whatsoever towards the opposite sex.
It is life.
Okay.
They are not intrigued by chemistry or physics or biology of relationships.
What if they feel that they're not so worthy of a partner whatsoever?
That one can be dealt with.
Okay.
That one is a deficiency.
Okay.
But I'm talking of very normal people who are walking around, enjoying every bit of life, enjoying the company of the opposite sex, but they don't have an iota of thought about going to settle in with a man as a husband or going to settle in with a woman as a wife.
Usually, if that seems to arise as a case, some people seem to purport that it could be that the person is, queer or something like that.
And that is the other thing. You see, men are at liberty to live, especially serving God, in the way they want. And the way that is most suited for the powers they have and the circumstances.
Okay.
But most of us are unfit to be judges. Are you getting? Because when we move into judgment, which Jesus Christ abhors and bans, Jesus Christ bans judgment.
Okay.
What we are thinking is they must be like us.
We judge them according to our standards.
Once they are not like us, then they are abnormal.
Okay.
Whilst it may be on the flip side that we are rather abnormal and they are normal.
Okay.
So we need to understand that we cannot jump into conclusion and say that this person, oyache, go and find yourself a man,
or a woman.
Yourself a woman. It must be, as I said, by yourself seeking counsel from God. And if the person does not feel like he or she should marry, why will society, family, and everybody think that they must marry?
Okay.
If they don't marry, then it means that they are not human beings. If you're a man, people then begin to attend to your cause by saying that you are not there.
You are not there.
Yeah.
But you are there, you have an address and location.
You are there,
but you are not there.
Yeah, they are talking of the fact that you can't fire a gun or something. But the bottom line is that person is very potent, but he is not entrapped by like most of us.
Okay.
You see, people are always using the commonality. Like most of us who, when we behold a woman, physics, chemistry, biology
begin to take place.
Yes.
Okay. Your head begins to knock.
Yes, he's just walking around. He shakes you, doesn't feel anything. Why would that person entrap and go and take upon himself or herself a partner whom he or she may ignore for the rest of their lives?
Okay.
But it comes whether you are there or not, he has a life.
He has a life. Okay.
Are you getting me?
It's quite queer, or I would say quite strange, or a bit out of the normal. And I understand, because you say the estimation is by the standards of what we consider to be normal, and therefore.
And to be frank with you, you will also find that most of the marital challenges we are having may be coming from people of that stature who have been forced.
Okay.
To get into marriage.
Society has put some pressure.
Yeah, so they get in there and they think that, okay, this is not how I want to live my life.
Okay.
It's like your son or your daughter going to school and you telling the child, acquire science when you go do science.
Okay.
And then a typical young man who went to do the science and had the F in chains. Or the 9 in chains, or whatever it is.
He's going to get flabbergasted.
And then he came home and people were shouting, having wasted money and everything. And nonchalantly he was standing by his gate, just smiling and waving at people. And then somebody asked, Charlie, what is happening in your house? He said, oh, don't mind them. My feeling Asheron. So he went to school.
Lord.
No, the thing is, he went to school for them.
For them, yes.
He
went
didn't
to
go to school for himself.
Okay. So people are going into marriage, if I get the import of what you're saying, people are going into marriage because of what others are saying.
Yes.
Pressure from society,
pressure,
family,
society, seeking to belong.
Okay.
Even though if they are Christians, they say you've been chosen before the foundations of this world, that they still think that they must belong to the society of the married.
Okay.
And that is why, again, you would find, and whether you like it or not, it does exist, where people get married, give birth to children, and the children become a nuisance.
Yeah. They don't want to see them, don't want to have anything to do with them.
Yeah,
it's quite weird.
They don't want them around. They are disturbing that
their private space.
Yeah, that space that was supposed to be for them.
But that's
alone.
insanity.
No, that's not insanity. He's been forced to do something he doesn't want.
Okay.
So he's sitting there, and his own biological child genetically proven, is even walking about and cause daddy, and he's annoyed. And those are the people who can tell the other partner, before Banako, because your child is
giving you grief.
Yeah, are you getting it? So we need to understand that we must do what God has wired us to do and live the life that God has wired us to live.
Okay.
Fruitful, fulfilling. Okay. And that is why sometimes I tell most people who want to, not sometimes, always I tell people who want to get married that, are you single and satisfied? If you are not single and satisfied and you are trying to use marriage as a solution to a challenge you have, it's on a dead note, dead on arrival.
Okay.
So if you are single and satisfied and you do not think that you need another person for fulfillment, why will you walk into a relationship which is till death do us part? Because the conjunction there again is a divine institution.
Okay.
And when the moment you get into it, it's an engagement for life.
For life.
So you don't get there if you don't want your life to be fully engaged by God's appointment.
Okay. Okay. All right. So time exactly 8:30, and we're in the discussion of why is marriage not for everyone, or why should everybody get married or not? Some not get married. You can join the conversation via WhatsApp 0244340437. Again, 0244340437, and then on the Joy FM Facebook page, that is Facebook/Joy Time. Send your questions in there. Okay, I've seen a couple of questions. One says that, please, can you repeat the scripture reading for us? Thank you. And another one says, Reverend Abose, my situation baffles me a lot. I'm 37 years old and still single, even though I am employed. I yearn to get married, but for the past 13 years, I've been searching and feeling very lonely. These girls that love me, I don't love them. And those that I don't love, those that I don't do, they love me. I just don't understand this. This has happened to me for the past 13 years. Please help me. Okay, this is...
What is his love based on?
Okay. So you didn't say your name. Tell us your name, so that at least we can address it to you directly.
Why I'm saying that is it these girls I love?
Okay.
Is it physics? Is it chemistry? Is it biology?
Chance.
Because you see, anytime somebody says he is in love with somebody, I quickly ask, what makes you love the person? And 99% of the time, and I don't intend to dilute the fact that definitely the first thing that is going to happen is physics. You must see the person.
Okay.
But beyond that, by the time you say you are falling in love with the person, it must be a trait that will be eternal.
Okay.
If most people are looking at getting into marriage with anything they can see, it is subject to change.
Okay.
And that is why you get people getting married and say that you are growing too fat, you are putting on weight, you are too slim.
They're beginning to dislike what they love.
Because they married physics.
Okay. The physical appearance.
The physical appearance of the person. And I always tell people casually that anything that has weight obeys gravity.
Gravity.
Yes.
They begin to fall.
Yeah, they will fall. Anything that has
the frontal will begin to say, our Father.
Anywhere, it will obey gravity.
Okay.
And for the scripture is in 1 Corinthians chapter 7. In fact, if you are talking about where Paul was saying that people should be like him. Verse 1 says that, now concerning the things which I wrote, you wrote to me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman.
Okay.
And then the verse 7, for I wish that all men were even as myself, but each one has his own gift from God.
Okay.
One in this manner, another in that. But I say to the unmarried so that is about it, because he was saying that for him, if you do not marry, it's okay.
It's okay,
but caveat, because of sexual immorality, let each man
have his own wife.
That is why I'm saying that if you are wired like Paul,
okay,
you can stay.
Very, very interesting questions just come through. Somebody saying, if you say God wired every one of us differently, and therefore, if you will, our emotional tendencies towards the opposite sex can vary.
Yeah.
All right. It can make some people remain single and they don't have a challenge. They can relate to the opposite sex and there's no chemistry going on whatsoever. Right. What about those who are homosexuals, women who are drawn to women sexually or emotionally, and then men who are drawn to men? Is that how God wired them? Because the person is asking, if you say God wired us differently, why does society chastise homosexuals?
What does God say about what did God create? Is the most important aspect of the discussion.
Okay. How did God create man?
How did God create man?
Okay.
And abstention is not attraction to the opposite sex, to the same sex.
Okay.
When we say you are not getting married, we are talking of celibacy.
Okay.
People who can stay alone. Either you stay alone or you get married.
Okay.
You don't do anything. And I cannot sit here and tell you that I will condone whether it is homosexuality or gay or whatever
Well,
it is.
lesbianism, yeah.
And I'm just being frank about it. I, as a Christian and as a reverend father, believe that all those people must be saved.
Okay.
So I do not condemn them as people,
Okay.
but I condemn their acts.
The act. Okay. Because it's contrary to what God's word
Yeah,
says.
that is it. It's as simple and
So they
straightforward.
may
as that.
feel wired like that, but that is not what they're supposed to live. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
Okay.
it's as simple and
How do they
straightforward.
get help? I believe that we can get there one day. But okay, now let's narrow it to this in a minute. The above scripture you just read seems to suggest that some can marry and some may be able to stay married, or being able to marry require certain skills and graces. What are those specifically, if you probably can enlist that for us?
One of it is the fact that you have, I measured, you have the powers
Okay.
to be able to stay celibate
Okay.
and say that this is my life. This is how I'm going to live it.
Okay.
What I may not condone is when people are forced to be celibate.
Okay. Because they can't survive it though.
That is it. I mean, somewhere along the line,
They
will
begin to
trip.
shift. Yes.
So those who are going to remain celibate are doing it by choice and by having sought godly counsel about it.
Okay.
So for those who are talking about the attraction to the same sex, have they sought any godly counsel concerning it?
Okay.
And what does God say about it? It's very important for them to know. But the bottom line is, one is the fact that you are not compelled. There's no drive in you to get married.
Okay.
That's number one.
Okay.
Number two is,
Not because they are afraid of marriage?
No.
I mean, because some from where you said, as a counselor and a pastor,
Yeah.
you probably would know that certain people, having observed probably their parents'
course.
marriage, kind of have a resentment towards marriage.
that's right.
Because
That is totally different from somebody who is naturally
exactly.
born.
So we need to be able to define what is informing the person's like or dislike for the
or
marital
dislike
institution.
for marriage. It's very
Okay.
important.
Okay.
Extremely crucial.
Okay.
So that is why I'm saying. So if you want us to narrow it, then we are talking of somebody who has not been influenced by any negative circumstances around
yeah.
himself.
But naturally,
they
don't have
does
any-
not
any
have
drive.
any drive to get married and to settle and have babies
Okay.
or have a family. But they want to live a life, fruitful, fulfilling life. Going out there, living righteously without having any compulsion or hiding any defects anywhere. Because there are people who can feign it, and I'm not talking of those who are feigning it.
They fake marriage. If
Yeah,
you will.
they are feigning that they won't marry, but deep within them they are burning with desire.
Yeah, they wish they were.
Yeah, that is totally different from what we are talking about
Okay.
today. These are people who really have the unction, the power, and
Unction power.
Yes, I mean it is there. You can't do
You can't do anything about
it. Yes.
I mean, there are those, when you mentioned about those who are they are forced into celibacy, maybe because of maybe a fraternal calling for ministry. There are those who are, they say, if you're going to be a so-and-so, you cannot marry. But on the flip side, because they can't survive not being without a woman, they are in their calling. They still are swerving on the side and doing.
And that is why I'm saying that it is a for how long question.
Okay.
For how long can you
carry the fire without
the
burning?
vow
Okay.
that you are making? Because those ones are also vows.
Vows, yes.
The
Yeah.
vow that you are making, knowing very well that you do not have the calling we are talking about,
Okay.
where you really want to live alone.
Okay.
You want to have the kind of life that Paul had. You have zeal for the things of God and that,
and that
else.
alone. Okay.
Or you have zeal. Some of them may not even come into ministry. But the bottom line is they have zeal for other good things.
Okay.
But they don't have any drive,
any inclination towards marriage.
to get married.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a very interesting comment on WhatsApp. One says, Reverend Abose, Reverend Okuming has just described my husband. Frankly, that is how I diagnosed him. And today, at least, it has been confirmed. God bless you.
Oh.
Okay. I probably think that on the matter of somebody not wanting anybody to invade their private space. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. So now, does it mean those who are not yet married, or I won't say all, do not have that aptitude or that grace or the maturity to marry?
No. That is why I'm saying that the first thing you do, I mean, I call it the first litmus test.
Okay.
That you do.
Okay.
Anybody who is desiring to marry, are you single and satisfied? Are you living a fruitful, fulfilling life as a single
person? Okay.
And I'm not talking of age or anything. Are you that fulfilled?
Many people,
Or you are looking for marriage as a vent
okay,
for your deficiencies?
to feel complete,
Yes.
or to feel satisfied.
Yes.
Is it not that society tends to put that pressure on us that once you get a particular age, you're expected to be married, and if you're not married, you feel kind of empty, lonely, confused, depressed.
No,
and
if you are
frustrated.
feeling empty, confused, depressed, and it is not coming from pressure of the people,
Okay. Okay.
but like our brother said, he's 37 years and he wants to get married.
Yeah. But the ones he loved don't love him. The ones he doesn't
That
love,
is why I'm
love
saying
him.
that he needs to.
His is a peculiar case.
No,
you
no.
know?
All that he needs to do is to realign what love is all about.
Okay. Okay.
You should go and read the whole of First Corinthians.
He needs to sit down with you.
Yes, yes. And he may find out that the issue of the people he loves is driven by a particular thing,
Okay.
which I predict will expire when he gets married.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Listen, it looks like we have quite a lot of questions to answer today. I will try and drive a few of them. But let me read this one on WhatsApp. It says, good evening, Rev. If God wired everyone differently, why would a mother have an issue with every suitor that comes the way of her daughter because of what she went through in her marriage? You see what I just
No, but
referred to?
that is totally different. So
Okay.
this person is finding
Okay. Okay.
this person finds himself or
Okay.
herself a suitor.
Okay.
But the stumbling block is not her.
Is her mother.
It's a third party.
Okay. Who has problems in her marriage or
Yeah, that's right.
in her relationship before her? Okay.
So she needs people to speak with the mother concerning her choices.
Okay.
And again, all mothers out there and all parents out there, if you have had challenges, I have had instances where people are going to get married and it's virtually like they are reminding them of the deficiency. Unim se efieha yenya awarepa.
Wow.
It's virtually like renewing an insurance policy. Insurance for a bad marriage.
For a bad marriage.
Yes.
Okay. So they're shooting the marriage down even before it begins.
Yes. Somewhere along the line, if you're a mom or a dad who has gone through those experiences, begin to wire your children to understand that yours was peculiar. And theirs will be different from yours.
From yours.
But don't make it like it is going to be the same for everybody one of us.
In the family.
And some of these things they are passed on. It's messages that are passed on from generation to generation, and it's virtually become a mantle.
A mantle.
And all people must understand that words have no expiry date.
Okay. Now I will ask you this, and then I will read this comment on WhatsApp. Society tends to put unnecessary pressure on older people who are not yet married, thinking there may be a problem with them. How can such a perception be corrected? I mean, if, for instance, the person concerned knows that I don't have any problem, I just don't like women, I don't like men, I don't want to marry.
I do not feel like marrying.
Yes, they know that something is wrong with you.
No, but they must go on preaching the message until the message is heard.
But they're gonna. I mean,
No. So what are they going to do? Are they going to catch that person, put him or her in a room, and give him or her a man or a woman, and say that you are married? And we have to be. No, society
be tough to
society has to be reasonable. Yes, society has to be reasonable.
Sometimes
you can you imagine? I know some ladies who never give birth.
Okay.
And their love is for children. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, it's amazing.
They are going out there doing orphanages, doing so many things. They just gathering children and
being a blessing to them.
Being a blessing to them. But they never bothered to get married or
to have their own
children or even live with a man. All that their attention on is for them to see many children having a good life. So their money, their time, their everything is invested in the life of children.
Okay, 13 minutes before we close tonight, maybe you can join us on the phone lines. Is marriage for everybody? That's the discussion on the table tonight. And our guest, Reverend Alan Okumi-Mensah, is doing quite a huge job on that, hopefully. So you can join the conversation. Call 0302-216541. Again, 0302-216541 if you have a question or a comment. In the meantime, let me read this. One says, I'm in a relationship with my girlfriend, and anytime I buy her something, she complains a lot, and if I don't buy, she complains a lot too. I need a counselor or to cast or say such things, since it's a source of worry to me. And that's from Levi in DC. Okay, so he's in a dilemma. Okay, you're dating, you buy her something, she complains. She probably complains she doesn't like it or whatever. And if you don't buy it too, there's another complaint. What does he do?
Okay, I'm going to advise him.
Okay,
you should go and read Songs of Solomon.
Okay, Songs of Solomon.
Yes.
Okay.
Chapter 8 and verse 7.
Okay.
Many waters cannot quench love, nor can floods drown it.
Okay.
If a man will give for love all the wealth of his house, it will be utterly despised.
Wow, that's heavy.
Full stop.
Full stop. Okay.
No, so if he is rejecting presents and he is expecting presents, then there must be the fact that maybe her love language has nothing to do with what you are buying for her.
Okay.
So find out what she wants.
Okay. What does she really want?
Yes.
Okay. All right. One says, Pastor Ansford, how do we address this school of thought? Those who go for Western ordinance marriage entangle themselves with the curse of remaining under the torture of a nagging or oppressive wife instead of the African freedom of marrying 2 or 3 women. Yeah, right. What's your name? You should have said your name. Okay, send your name now. So, I mean, interesting thought, though.
No, but the bottom line is simple. Do you remember Jesus Christ?
Yes, I do.
What did he say? In the beginning, it was not so.
Yes,
simple.
Indeed. No, sir. So, 10 minutes before.
In the beginning, it was not so.
You can join the conversation. Is marriage for everybody? Okay, let me have this comment on WhatsApp. Oops. Okay. All right. So, okay, this is a bit tricky to get now. All right. So let's try and read some of the questions from the previous week. Okay. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening. I'm fine.
Good. Thank you. Let's hear you. What's your comment?
Yeah. I know if you say marriage is not for everyone.
Okay.
My understanding is if you are not ready in maturity,
okay,
financially, religious, and also the choice shouldn't be the problem, I think you are good to go. But there are some people, they have all these qualities, though they are not perfect.
Okay.
But I can see maybe 90 or 85 ready to marry.
Okay.
Or 85 marriageable material. but they go into marriage, it doesn't work. Do those people believe that they have been destined not to marry, or should we call it family issues, witches and witchcraft? Secondly, Matthew 19 speaks about if you leave your wife, don't go for any other person. Maybe if you want to marry again, the same person. So if maybe that marriage is not working, and you think when you go there it will be a hell, which means have you been destined not to marry?
Okay. All right. Very good. Very interesting question. Reverend, what's your take on what Abdullah in Tamale said?
What he said, the first part of it is what we are talking about is not is somebody who is having all the qualities like 85, 90% or whatever it is. You know, by societal judgment, is ready to marry. But who does not feel like he must get married?
He wants to marry.
That's the person we are talking about.
Okay.
I get it, my brother. It's not the person who has prepared to marry and therefore is looking for an opportunity to marry.
But it's not happening.
It's not happening.
Okay.
Those are two different
They're not finding
things.
the suitors, or they don't like the suitors that come.
Yes, that's right.
All right. What says, wow, good one there. Reverend Abo say, please, this topic should be a 4-part series. So much pressure in marriages these days. And that's from Godwin from North Kanishi. Interesting thought, Godwin. Okay, we'll see about that. Okay. Hello, Abdullah, still on the line. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah.
My name is Abdullah Rafiu. I'm calling from Tamale.
From Tamale. Okay, thank you for joining us. Let's hear you.
Thank you, too. Actually, I am really enjoying the program.
Okay. Thank you.
A very educative program. And I would like to encourage you to go on with it.
Okay.
We are really happy with the program.
Thank you.
My take on my contribution is that, as Reverend has rightly mentioned, that marriages should be based on love prompted.
Okay.
And then he also rightly mentioned that God has not created us all to be the same. He has wired us in different areas. You understand?
Okay.
And I wish he could throw more light, or he could educate parents who usually scare away suitors who, appear to marry their daughters.
Okay.
And normally, these things are done based on the experiences that they have gone through in the past.
Okay. Thank you, Abdullah Rafiu. Thank you. I mean, interesting thoughts there. Some challenges has been because parents are interfering, as it were. But is it not maybe because they are concerned about who their children end up with eventually? We'll come to that. Let's talk to Dan, Uncle Dan. So hello, Dan.
Good evening. How are you?
We're good, sir. Thank you. Please, can you kindly turn down the volume of your radio? Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Great.
From the trend of the discussion.
Yes.
I've come to a conclusion that yes, God created every one of us to give account of your stewardship on this earth. Okay. But then when it comes to marriage issue, like we are discussing, suppose somebody is a hermaphrodite. Will the person give account of his stewardship in heaven because he didn't get married?
Okay.
Yeah.
They are human hermaphrodites. Are there any human hermaphrodites? Okay. Okay, Uncle Dan, thank you very much. Interesting question. Let's talk to Fafa from the Volta region. Hello, Fafa. How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's hear your comment, Fafa.
Yeah. The comment I want to make is, marriage is a choice. Our parents shouldn't give us pressure to marry.
Okay.
We should relax and choose the right man. Because I was pressured. And when I got married, in 4 years' time, I divorced.
Wow.
Now I have stayed for 10 years now. Probably 13 years now. And so they are giving me pressure to marry again.
Wow.
So I want to tell parents that they should leave their daughters or their sons to make a choice.
Okay.
They shouldn't put pressure on them.
Okay.
So that we will choose the right person. Because when you are putting pressure on us and they are putting pressure on us, we may go for the wrong person, and that marriage maybe will not succeed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Christopher J., thank you for coming back on that one. One says, please, Rev, is it really true that there is more blessing in marriage than celibacy? And that's from Kwame. Okay, final call. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. My name is Lily. I'm calling from Essex in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
Thank you for this insightful topic. Indeed, marriage is a pleasant and a blessing from God.
Okay.
But I think why marriage is not for everyone.
Okay.
It might be explained as marriage in the Western world is different. People are here and they just don't want to.
Okay.
The society it doesn't encourage people to even get married.
Wow.
And anyone who maybe live in this part of the world, like London, in the European countries, marriage is just not encouraged at all. So for those of us who are married, we have to push through and pray for sustainability, and, just for even grace, because it's not encouraged.
Okay.
Likewise, back home, if you are not married, you are stigmatized. It's like, Obano or Nisubai. But no, that's not it.
My dear, let me butt in a little bit. Is it, what pervades in Europe is that probably does not encourage many people from getting married. Is it not because you're already living together and doing what married people will do without necessarily the commitment to marriage? Which is why most people don't want to be married. They just want to live together.
Exactly. I think it's just the society.
Yeah.
I don't say it's good. It's not great.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not. It shouldn't be encouraged. I'm married, happily married. Thank God. I've got 3 girls, and I want them to look at me and imitate, because it's the Christ in you which causes you. There's nowhere in the Bible which says marry the one you fall in love, but it says love the one you marry to.
Okay.
So we have to learn to even love. Love. Husbands love their wife, and wives submit.
Okay.
So depending on which country or where you are, marriage might not be for everyone, but it's not something to imitate. I don't think it's right.
Okay. Thank you very much, my dear. We really appreciate you joining us from XX in the UK. God bless you. God bless you. Rev, your last submission. But we will continue this next week. So people, keep your questions coming. Definitely we'll have to come back. You heard somebody's, I didn't do this. So, okay. Somebody said this.
So
this have to be a fourth
my quick thoughts as we close today is.
Yes.
The rules of Christianity reach every condition. And in every state that we are in, we must live to credit the fact that we are Christians.
Okay.
And it is a duty of every Christian to be content with his lot.
Okay.
And to conduct himself as a Christian.
Okay.
Our comfort in this world and happiness must depend on what we are in Christ and not what we are in the world.
Okay. We thank God for your life. And that's our guest, Reverend Alan Okumi Mensah. Next week, we're coming on. My name is Pastor Ransford Abose. Many thanks to Michaela and, of course, Roy for the support in production.
For keeping quiet.
For keeping quiet. He nearly started talking earlier on, but that's okay. Stay tuned. Next on Joy is Uncle Ken with Jazz on Joy 99.7. Definitely. May the Lord bless you, and let's keep the marriage sacred. And if you can't stay, make sure that you manage yourself well. The Lord bless you. Have a good night. Bye bye now.